Greetings and salutation, muchachos and hermanas, hermanes, hermanos, hermana, hermano. Learning Spanish here, no big deal. So just thinking about something, and I learned a lot lately about perception. And a nice quote that I heard today off one of my audio tapes was that your perception of yourself is a lot more important than the perception that other people have on you. So I was watching this one interview with Rakim, and anyone who is really interested in hip-hop music would know who Rakim is. So he was having this interview, and I remember him saying one time, he was talking about Al Green and this type of music, Bill Withers and Al Green, and he's like, that music is just so classic. He's talking about classic music. And it always stuck with me. And now that I'm learning about perception and things like this, I'm thinking to myself, who says that music is classic? Because your mom listened to it when you were 3 and 5 and 7 years old, and you're now 44 years old. This music is classic music. It is classic music in your little world, in your little bubble, in your universe. Well, what is the definition of classic? Because that music is old? Well, what about the song and dance of the native tribes of this place, or Egyptian music, or Russian music? It's just so encapsulated in this little bubble, and people have perceptions based on their environment. You think that Al Green is like the most classic music. Well, why is that? Probably because it was in your environment and you hold it very dear to your heart. Your mom would clean to the music, or you would see your dad and your mother listening to this type of music when you were younger. And for me personally, when I say the word classic, that is basically what that means. It's just older music, just a little bit older than I am. Oh, that's classic. Oh, that's old school. That's classic music. So perception, I was thinking this on the bus today. Your environment shapes so much of you. So much. And unless you're within that 5 to 7% of those independent, strong-willed, creative people who can leave their environment, or who are even capable of doing so, from the obstacles that so many people in the world face, such as war and these different borders that we all can face in our life, trying to get to one place to another from where we are. Your environment, unless you're some of these people who can get out of your environment is shaping you. And I was just thinking of all these different examples of how this is true. And I was listening to another audiobook earlier, and they made a really good point, saying that, I think it was Joe Rogan actually, and he was saying that a lot of these dumb people are not dumb. They have the capacity to be smart, but they were just brought up in such a way that they got in a shitty pattern really early on in life. They were around conflict and abuse and people bickering at each other all the time, and negative people. And once you're in a pattern like that, that shapes your physiology. It shapes your brain patterns. It shapes the way that your mind works. And unless you are smart enough to be first aware of this and then do something about it, you will always be kind of in these patterns. Cats in heat, what can you do? So you really have to start asking yourself, who do you have around you? And sometimes the best way to fly is to let a lot of things go. And sometimes that's very difficult to do. You have certain people in your life that you love, but just do not give you the tools needed for you to succeed and progress. And these could be people like your brothers and your sisters and your family, your spouse, your best friends. Sometimes the easiest way to fly is to let things go. You can't have all this baggage if you expect to get to where you want to be. So separating yourselves from these obstacles basically that are getting in the way of you getting to where you want to be. And it might sound like a selfish thing, but it's really not. You getting to where you want to be makes you the best person that you can possibly be. And talking about selfishness, be selfish. Go do what you need to do to be a good person, because until you have found out, or at least are trying to find out who you are and what you're about, first of all, you can't really judge anything that I'm doing because you have no idea what you're doing. And I don't want to be around someone who is not happy, for one. If you're not happy, say we're at a party and you feel bad about leaving early because you don't want to disappoint people. People want you there. You're a good person, we all want you there. But if you're not feeling it, then go. Go. Nobody wants someone who doesn't want to be there, for one, to be there. And people do not want someone who is not feeling good, because that affects everyone at the party. If your energy sucks, go home. People would consider that selfish because they're thinking about themselves. Oh, stay. We're all chilling here. Why don't you want to stay with us? Oh, you're whatever. People might call you names or whatever. But really, if your friends are your friends and they understood this concept, they say, okay, awesome. Thanks for spending 45 minutes with us. And would be grateful that you spent that time with them instead of, oh, I'll pick you up at 6 and I expect you to stay with us till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Go. If you want to leave, then go. Your environment is very, very important. So another cool thing I heard recently off one of my audiobooks, I'm listening to a lot of audiobooks. Who said it? Tony Robbins, I think, was, if you go to bed with dogs, you're going to wake up with fleas. Fucking right. If you chill with a bunch of people who have all these qualities that you don't like, but are fun to hang out with, you're going to wake up with that bullshit on you. You are going to become that type person. If you are progressing at a quick rate, faster than your friends, your ego and your body will tell you, first of all, not to really talk about it. You won't want to share these things that are happening because you don't want to make other people feel inferior or bad about themselves, or you don't want to feel like you're gloating or boasting or anything like this. So you'll tone down your progress and your success to accommodate the feelings of the people around you. You're not going to get far like that. You are not going to get far like that. And I'm not saying go around and boast all these things that you're doing, but you should be able to talk about the things that are going on in your life in a positive manner with the people around you, and then get support from that. And if you can't do that, then you will not progress that fast. So, main point, the environment, man. The environment. Where are you? Do you like your job? Do you like your friends? Are you justifying all of the bullshit that you see because maybe you don't have any alternatives really? Like, these are your friends. And you might think that that's it. This is it. These are my friends. I'm not going to meet any more friends. I don't have any more friends. This is it. This is my job. This is where I'm going to school. This is where I live. You can change a lot of these things, You have more power than you may think to have influence on yourself about how you feel, how you act, where you are in life, where you work, who you hang around with, what stores you go to, what clothes you buy. You have ultimately the decision on all of these things, but we're influenced by a lot of these external factors, like who we hang around with or where we are in the world. You have a lot more power than you think to be independent and do the things that you want to do. Your environment. Where are you? What is the energy that you are taking in? And how are you dealing with it? It's another very important point. How are you dealing with the things that are coming at you? environment. Very, very important. I'm done for the day on this. I need to go spend some money today and be a consumer. Just groceries. But nonetheless, stay fit, have fun. Till next time.